Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Maah. I'm RJ.
I'm Paige.
It's been a month since we recorded. You know, we were gonna try and keep the promise of not letting a shitty movie ruin our vibe.
I mean, technically life got in the way, but
True, but I have a question. Do you believe, like I do, that life got in the way because of Exorcist Believer?
Yes.
Like it gave us an omen.
yeah, literally, yes, it did.
It's also officially our worst performing episode, which originally I would like be annoyed at, but I'm so happy that a fucking David Gordon Green episode did so fucking bad. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm happy that the brand is his movies.
People didn't
No one
enjoy
wants
the
to even
movie,
listen.
so why would they enjoy listening to someone talk about it? I get it.
Exactly. And then while we were gone, Imaginary released.
Oh boy.
Imaginary Friends as a horror movie. That's the concept.
Yeah, I saw trailers for that, and I was like, this is stupid as fuck.
It didn't do well.
I'm sure it didn't.
But we're talking about X.
X.
And not the social media platform.
Oh god,
the
no. No,
movie.
you mean Twitter. Come on.
I think I mean Tumblr. We're watching X. It's destined to be a good movie. It's A24. It's just hopefully it doesn't sniff its own farts.
You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, me neither.
It's A24. I have the last A24 movie we saw together was The Lighthouse, and we both had a discussion when we left that movie.
Oh my god. That's true.
And that discussion was, Ryan, you're not allowed to choose, like, quote unquote, good movies that we go to.
Yeah.
You can stick to, like, forcing me to go see Dora the Explorer for, like, the laughs.
See, that's fine. But yeah, Lighthouse was rough. But this is completely on the other end of the spectrum, I would say.
This, it looks like it's going to favor more towards you, if I'm being honest here.
Oh, okay. Because it's Texas Chainsaw-y?
It's very Texas Chainsaw-y. Just from the beginning shot, you're like, they're in a van, they're in the middle of nowhere. Looks a little grindhousey.
It does, which is interesting.
Which I'm not against. Mm-hmm. It's just very odd, especially when it came out, because the thing came out, 2022?
Yes.
It's odd that Grindhouse kind of theming is still
marketable.
I wouldn't even say it was marketable, but it's just something that people would want to venture into.
I think
it felt like a very mid 2000s. Like it died in that like mid 2000s.
I think also the cast is very interesting. I think that's what I'm more interested in, to see Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega, and Mia Goth. I mean, I know Mia Goth apparently steals the show.
Well, Mia Goth is like now firm. Like this is the movie that I think would kind of put her firmly in horror.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like a lot of her stuff since has been horror.
Yeah.
And I think this was the movie that this combined with Scream was like, okay, so Jenna Ortega's like the new generation, Jamie Lee Curtis,
mm-hmm.
or like she's like that next major Scream queen.
Yeah.
And it shows because she has been in a lot of horror, and she's even doing like the trailer just came out a few days ago, but Beetlejuice, which is like horror adjacent.
Oh yeah. But I think that was writing on the wall, especially after Wednesday. People were like, oh, they got to get her for the Beetlejuice remake. And then, lo and behold.
They got Winona Ryder back, so I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
We're good with this.
What did you think of the trailer?
Bless
you.
It's hard for me to really talk about it, just because it's like... Do you know how, like, when we watch a Blumhouse movie, you watch a Blumhouse movie, and you're like, A, first of all, that was a Blumhouse movie. Mm-hmm. But B, it's a Blumhouse trailer. Like, they're the masters of trailers. Mm-hmm. Like, a Blumhouse trailer, they are the kings of giving you way too much.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, here's the entire movie.
Do you want to watch the movie? No, that's fine. We'll put it in 2.5 minutes for you. Sorry, my cat is
A20
like sneezing. So if you hear that, I
A24
apologize.
is the opposite, where you think they give you a lot, and then you watch the movie and they're like, they really didn't give me anything. In reality, they kind of false advertised to me in the grand scheme of things.
I would rather that than the Blumhouse way of doing things. But
Yeah.
I'm on track for liking that anyways. It was a fine trailer. Again, I was like, oh, this is like Texas Chainsaw. Cool. I might be interested. And that's it. That's all I know about the movie. I don't know anything else.
I'm just not a fan of, and I think it's because I'm just tired of it now.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I'm really tired of this. I and here's the thing: I know what movie started it, and it angers me because it's like, what's the thing that's like started this thing that's like kind of ruined trailers now? Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole nostalgia bait music shtick started with "Hooked on a Feeling" in Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, like, every trailer since then has been like, what song? Like, what's going to be our marketable song? And I'm just kind of tired of it, to the point where I kind of daze off while watching trailers. And here's the thing. It's still a thing that's happening today. That new action rom-com with, like, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the trailer and I was like, you know what? Oddly enough, maybe I would want to watch this, like, on streaming. But then, like, it starts a remix of a song that's like 20 years old, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and we just followed it up, unfortunately, with I watched the Crow, the new Crow movie trailer, because I haven't seen it, and they did the same thing. They did an old song that's kind of remixed, and I mean, one, the movie looks fucking horrendous, but two, yeah, it's on the same vein. It's just we don't need this. We don't need this at all.
That trailer is like the definition of like that person that goes, do you want to know how I got these scars? Unironically.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Dark Knight wishes.
Yeah, no, he looks like a Walmart Joker, and it's so disheartening.
It looks so bad.
Yeah. But we're talking about X. We're going to go watch X, and
it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it is.
Now, at bare minimum, this movie's going to be a 7.
Okay, cool. Then
At bare minimum. It's just kind of like, how far past 7 can we get?
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Alrighty. All right, we watched it.
We did.
I can confirm it was better than The Lighthouse.
But that's pretty low-hanging fruit there.
I don't know. When we left The Lighthouse, we both questioned whether or not Robert Pattinson was hot the entire time.
Good point. Good point.
Has he always been attractive?
Is it just this time, and why is it this time?
And also, with The Lighthouse, I remember so well. I remember being like, yay, the movie's over and we can like leave. And then it was like 40 minutes in and we were like, there's like another hour and 20 minutes. In my head, I was like, how? And the movie theater was packed. And we're like, why was there so many people? I could feel Paige's hate.
Well, this one was long. This was an hour 45, hour 46 movie.
That is true. Let me see how long The Lighthouse was, just for comparison.
Okay. But it was...
The Lighthouse was 5 minutes longer.
Oh, boy.
Wait. This movie was, excuse me, how long? Oh, sorry, I was wrong. 3 minutes longer.
Excuse me.
Okay. In that regards, this movie was a lot better than it then. Okay.
It kept...
Let's go through the good.
Okay. It
Ready?
kept true.
Brittany,
it kept true to the...
Brittany Snow.
The Texas Chainsaw entire vibe. The entire thing.
No, Brittany Snow.
Oh, being
Let's
the
start
best
with
part?
the high points of the movie. Brittany Snow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The amount... Just Brittany Snow. Everyone's like, my God, that's great. I'm like, okay, I will acknowledge. Acting-wise, yes, she was great. But Brittany Snow. Listen, I guarantee you that she heard no bra the entire time, and she was like, I'm in.
Sign me up. Her first nude scene, and she did great. She did such a good job.
Let's also talk about how we did not know Kid Cudi was in the movie until probably 3 minutes until the movie ended.
Yeah,
when you like
because I was looking up trivia facts because there's certain things in there that I just could not visibly watch. And and I was like, and it said the famous scream that Jenna Ortega does down in the basement, she was hungover from bar crawling the night before with her co-star, Kid Cudi. And I was like, wait a minute. No way.
And then Yes Way.
Yes Way.
Jenna Ortega was fine.
Yeah.
It was just because her character didn't have a lot to work with. Her character was just, it was there. Also, I kind of felt like that was Maya Goth's character for a while with Maxine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just kind of there. It very much felt like it was focused on Brittany Snow and Kid Cudi fucking.
I mean, that was the movie that they were making.
True, but like half the movie was them fucking.
Exactly.
And the aftermath of them
You're
fucking.
right.
It was kind of like, we begin. Let's just cut to what?
When they get to the place, we don't really need to go through anything before that.
Yeah. This really isn't going to be much of an episode because I'll be honest, I didn't think this movie was that interesting.
No. You know how you said it was at least a 7?
It's a 7. Spoiler alert for the movie roundup. We're going to give it a 7. Probably.
You'll give it a 7.
Are you going? You're not going above a 7, right?
No.
Okay, thank God.
No.
Thank God.
No.
Thank God. I thought you were gonna be like, I was gonna give it an 8. I was gonna be like, why?
I mean,
Why?
so they get to the house. Howard is about to shoot Matthew McConaughey impersonator. I can't think of his name for the life of me. Jackson?
Yes.
Okay.
No, wait. No, because isn't Jackson Kid Cudi's character?
Oh, shit. You're right. I don't fucking know. Matthew McConaughey. And they get to the house. They do their thing. They're shooting their porno.
Wayne.
There you go.
His name is Wayne Gilroy.
Of course it is. Like you said, there's not much going on with this movie.
Really isn't. Will this be the first sub 30-minute episode? Probably. Okay. Let's talk about all the stuff that's accurate. Texas sucks.
Oh, the state?
Yeah. Texas sucks. Texas is garbage. Texas is trash. Texas probably has quite a few pearls in them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I'm having a really hard time talking about this movie. It just was very... I didn't care.
Yeah. None of the characters were too interesting to me. I did like Brittany Snow.
Outside of Brittany Snow.
Yeah.
She
was having a fun time. They were all very two-dimensional. Very, very two-dimensional.
Which is like, I get it. It's a slasher movie, especially because 1979, that type of era of slasher, everyone was very one-dimensional. And they kept true to it. And I'll give you that. Pearl was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Her existence was gross.
It was bad. What did I say? Mia was in the seat for like 16 hours or something like that to get all that makeup on her.
She was a walking jump scare.
Yeah, she really was.
Her and oh fuck, what's the name of the dude?
Howard.
That's Howard?
Her husband?
Yeah.
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 Pearl's husband is Howard.
They're walking jump scares.
Yeah, they really were.
And then the biggest jump scare this which I'll acknowledge, I was Maxine trying to just survive the scene when they were fucking and she's just crawling out of the room.
So there were quite a few uncomfortable moments in this movie.
You know this the hierarchy of like uncomfortable shit was when like nail in the foot was the most comfortable thing.
Yeah. Everyone was walking around barefoot, and of course something had to happen about that. Guy steps on the nail. He gets the pitchfork through his eye. That was
Which was very like Friday the 13th
Oh,
ish,
God,
and I'll
yeah.
give him credit for that one.
yeah.
That was a very Friday the 13th.
There's a lot
kill.
of Psycho. There's a lot of all three of them. Let's do Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I mean, they're picking from all of them pretty much.
But basically, this movie we survived so we could watch Pearl, because I know Pearl is not as gross as this.
Okay.
At least I hope it's not.
I'm not believing you anymore.
It doesn't have old people,
Okay. And
which by proxy is 50% better, because 50% of the reason why we couldn't watch this movie was old people being gross.
yeah.
Either way, let's just boom, 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 boom. We start at the end. The beginning is the end. There's a disgusting cow mutilation.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
That was gross. That was nasty. That was just gross to look
Yeah.
at.
And the sounds were gross.
The biggest jump scare of this movie, they willingly bought Wonder Bread. Ah! Have you ever tried putting peanut butter on Wonder Bread?
Have you eaten Wonder Bread with peanut butter and survived without water or some sort of liquid to chase it?
I've, I've never seen a bread. You know what? Let's just go on a brief tangent about Wonder Bread real quick. I have never seen a bread that is so delicate and breaks so easily under the pressure of just any form of friction.
But yet is
yet
so dense.
somehow has the ability to suffocate you. It's a miracle. It's a wonder.
It is a wonder.
It's a wonder. Brittany Snow is just like, my tits are out. Shoot him filling the gas like it's his dick.
She was right though. It was
See,
a better
I'm a-
shot.
It is. And then we appear at the farm, and he's like, you know, you said $30. I'll give you $31 for everybody else
It's like,
here.
wow. So nice.
So sweet. And then and then just cue some. You know what? The most tasteful fucking of this movie. The most tasteful sex scene of this movie is Brittany Snow.
Yeah. And it was funny.
I think that was why it was
Yeah.
tasteful, because it was incredibly funny. To the point where, like, I think even you mentioned, like, you're like, oh, Maya Goth character is just, like, not part of the porno, I guess.
I thought she wasn't. She was just wandering around while they were doing that first scene.
She was getting stalked by Pearl.
Yeah, that was creepy as fuck.
And now let's talk about the scariest scene of this movie. Her getting chased by an alligator and her not knowing.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was very Jaws, but I think even scarier, to be honest.
Because they would zoom in on her, and then they would do the wide shot again, and the alligator definitely closed distance.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It was constantly closing distance. And you're like, get out of the water.
Overhead
Get
shot, too,
out,
was
please.
pretty creepy.
Oh, get out of the water. Just get out of the water. And she's just, being watched by Pearl, which is even creepier. And then, like, Pearl's like, hey, do you want to listen to some Beyonce with me? And Maxine's like, okay,
I'll
sure.
chug this lemonade.
But then the porno lemonade was a lot more appetizing than whatever the hell Pearl was given.
It was.
You want to know why it was more appetizing? Because in the porno, they put ice in the cup.
Good point.
There was ice with that lemonade. Also, I know this was comedic. I know this was definitely put in for comedic effect, but I love it nonetheless. Brittany Snow's tan lines from her bra.
Oh, from her bathing suits? Yeah.
Yes. I loved it so
Yeah.
much. Because it was so deliberate. with her character and how she's like, I gotta tan my titties. That's her dream. It's just to have a giant pool where she can tan her
Oh, yeah.
titties. And you know what? Not complaining. But the fact that like they have the tan lines, I was like, this is the best part of the movie. Just because of how ridiculous it is. And then cut back to Maxine and Pearl being creepy. I just don't like talking about Pearl scenes. They're so fucking uncomfortable to watch.
So after Maxine has her little alligator encounter that she didn't even know she had, she comes back to film her part of the movie in the barn with Jackson. And I think probably the creepiest part was Pearl again.
And Pearl's like, hi, I was once beautiful and I was gonna be a star.
I hated it.
I love how both of us were just waiting for the I'm a star, you're a star. Like we were waiting for that. And then at the end when they finally gave it, it's like finally.
You said it.
Oh, and also some Southern Baptist church has just something playing on repeat on a local TV channel, I guess.
And spoiler alert for the end of the movie, it's Mia's father, or Mia's character's father, so Maxine's father.
Hence is why I think it was good at the end where she repeats what he's saying.
Yeah.
Which shows that, like, okay, she was lured by the devil. What if in Maxine, with 3 X's, by the way?
Oh, it is? Because it's the
it's
third
Maxine
film,
with
technically?
3 X's. Yeah. What if Halsey's the devil?
Ooh.
Halsey having a good role somewhere? How?
Crazy.
I feel like you only cast Halsey for a role so she can make a song for your movie. That's the only reason why you'd cast her. Especially when you have Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. I had no idea they were making another movie in this franchise till you said something.
It's the 3rd one. It's going to be the final one. It's coming out in a few months, like 4 months from now. So, we have time. Mm-hmm. Especially because, who knows, we may end up disappearing again. I know I will, because I'm going to be gone in a couple weeks. So the next episode's going to get delayed somehow.
Who fucking knows? So Jenna Ortega's character is nicknamed Church Mouse. So she's a little more reserved in who she is and what she does. But after...
And she's in a relationship with RJ, I'm guessing?
Yes, the director, screenwriter, all that. Pretentious bastard.
The guy... I feel like this was the A24 director self-insert.
Oh, yeah.
I am making cinema.
This is not a porno. It is cinema.
You know what? I feel like this is A24 porno. Like, if A24 can make a porno, this would be it. Because it's cinema.
So Jenna's character was so inspired by what was filmed today, or that day, that she's like, I want to be in the fucking movie. And she does. And that's it.
I love how, like, RJ's like, no.
Yeah, no.
Why? Because no. Because the script exists. She's like, don't you love Psycho?
But I really liked how everyone else besides the boyfriend was like, okay. Like, they're very accepting of it. You know what I mean? They weren't like, oh, the little church mouse wants to, get into the film or something like that. They were like, okay, if she wants to do it, she wants to do it.
I don't mind that either, but mainly this scene was just memorable for the amount of one-liners Brittany Snow's character had.
Yes.
The amount of one-liners in this one scene alone.
I already know the title of this episode,
gets.
by the way, and it's from her little speech.
It's great. But I also I think this is a good, interesting piece right now with Church Mouse and Maxine, in the sense of Maxine gets very defensive around her. Like, she's being judged.
Yes.
And it makes a lot more sense when she has the nickname Church Mouse and you learn where Maxine came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like, I think Maxine doesn't fully accept that she's a star.
I don't think that's the case. I think
That she's a sex symbol. Well, you have to remember, she takes the coke to believe she's a sex symbol.
Right.
Because in reality, she thinks she's awful at this.
Right. See, and I think that might be her uncomfortableness is her surroundings as she was growing up. I mean, this is all speculation, of course. They don't give a shit. Is no one ever understood that she wants to be a star. She wants to be Hollywood, and them judging her and saying, that's not very Christian of you, and probably putting her down this whole time until she left. So I think it following her is what makes her uncomfortable with Jenna Ortega's character.
Jenna Ortega's like, I mean, I did really like what I saw today. Mainly from Howard over there. Is it Howard?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No,
Jackson.
It's not Howard. It's not Howard. It's Jackson?
Kid Cudi's character.
Yeah. She's like, I like what I saw from him. Let's do it.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's go. Oh, and by the way, earlier in the first jump scare that Paige had to walk away from, when Maxine and Jackson's character fucking, Pearl watches and then imagines it's her.
I hated it. It was horrible.
It was gross. It only gets worse,
It
too.
really does. This was just like your first taste of what happens.
And then Jenna Ortega's character is wearing underwear that says Sunday.
That made us laugh.
that was pretty comedic, I'm not gonna lie. And by this point we are cue to RJ trying to beat Liv Tyler and the Strangers, like in the bathtub.
Yeah, trying to have a
scarred.
moment.
And I'm like, dude, you signed up for this. Yeah. Quite frankly, you actually did sign up for this. And he's like, screw them. I'm going to steal the car and, they can't get by without me because I'm A24 director.
I'm better than this. They're nothing without me.
I'm going to go make The Lighthouse Part 2. And at this point we are, I think you noted, because I think I asked, like 56 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
We were at this point.
Yeah, I think either about that or literally halfway through the movie. Somewhere around there.
So we are following the Hellraiser script here of shit doesn't get good until halfway into the movie.
I think you were right, though. I think you're right. I think we were about an hour into the movie and we had about 45 minutes. So I think, that's what it was.
And we get horror movie trope of Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, classic.
Even though this time, for the amount, I love how the song begins when this scene begins.
Same.
And by the time the death happens and then Pearl has her dance scene, we're at the end of the song.
And I think the time frame lines up. I don't think anything was slowed down or sped up. So that was good. I do enjoy well-timed execution like that.
Oh, so yeah, RJ dies.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, who cares? Because it's RJ.
Yeah, but the stabbing was pretty gross.
It was nasty.
And I did
the practicals were great.
Yeah, and I did really like the blood going onto the headlights of the van. So then we get the deep red lighting that they use. Obviously, they're using their own lighting, but it was fun that they were able to do that.
Of course you love it, because it's very Texas Chainsaw. That's a very Texas Chainsaw like series of events. I think you mentioned it. You were like, I feel like this is Texas Chainsaw, like when Grandpa was like young.
Yeah, like where he was able to walk around. Yeah.
And death. Quite literally, this is like Hellraiser Part 4, or like how quickly these deaths start.
Yeah, they're just back to back to back.
First one, well, people knows RJ's missing, and then Lorraine is like, "Hey, old dude, have you seen my boyfriend?" And then old dude's like, "Hey, Lorraine, have you seen my wife?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Can you help me find some flesh?"
It's down in the cellar. Please go get it. And she's like, okay.
You know, don't be that person.
Don't.
Don't go in the cellar.
Why? Why?
Stay on level ground unless you know that the killer is on the same floor as you.
100%.
Don't go upstairs. Don't go downstairs. Preferably, stay on the same floor as the exit's on.
Yes. At least you're, on the same level. But so Jenna gets locked down there. She sees the missing person that was on the milk carton that Jackson drank. And she does her iconic scream. Very good. Very good. And she's stuck down there for a while.
And then Howard goes to Jackson.
Yeah.
And
Asks
it's
for help.
like, help me find my wife.
Yep.
And then Jackson's like, I got a big dick.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
That's the final twist of that scene.
I don't know if Kid Cudi is very well endowed or if it was prosthetic, but
Oh, that probably had to be prosthetic.
I hope so. I hope so.
I was like, I feel like enough of this stuff. Like, I feel like the tan for Brittany Snow was artificial. Like, they probably spray tanned her while she had a bathing suit on to make sure the tan lines were specific. I'm pretty sure with this type of stuff, they are 100% leaning into, tropes, especially with like, we missed one death. Boyfriend goes out in his underwear, and it's I use the term underwear very loosely with what that dude was wearing.
Yeah.
And then he steps on a nail. Gross. Tetanus, probably. But he doesn't survive long enough because he gets stabbed in the eye with a rake. So that happens. And then Pearl comes in and just pokes him a little bit.
She's just like, let me make sure. Skeek.
And then Jackson and Howard go out to the lake. There's a car in the lake.
Psycho reference.
And if you look right next to that car, there's a fucking gator.
Fucking gator.
Thankfully, the gator doesn't come into use yet.
Right now.
And Jackson just gets killed by Howard. Like, he just
Straight
gets
up.
shot
Straight
by
up
a
shot.
shotgun.
Point blank.
And cue creepiness part 2, where Pearl breaks into the house, Michael Myers style, and gets in the bed with Pearl. And it's disgusting.
I feel
It's
my
disgusting.
skin crawling just thinking about it.
It's gross. And then she screams. And then we get old lady jump scare when Brittany Snow's character opens the door.
Yeah.
And she's like scurrying out of the house. And then Brittany Snow's like, I have to go find the old lady. And then Brittany Snow gets the best death in the movie.
She does. It reminded me of Paris Hilton in House of Wax. I'm going to be honest. And her character was trying to be nice. She's like, hey, my grandma, gets a little confused sometimes. I know how to help, yada, yada. And then Pearl's just like, you're a fucking whore. And she's like, okay, bitch, bye. And then Pearl pushes her into the lake in automatic gator eaten. That was good
Great
shit.
death scene. Great death scene. That's the way you go out.
Yeah.
When you're that iconic of a character in a movie, you go out in the most iconic way.
Yeah, it was fucking good. It was really fucking good.
And then, unfortunately...
Was this Brittany Snow's first horror movie?
No, I think she did Prom Night, the remake of
Oh
Prom Night.
my god, you're right. Holy crap. I just got flashback when I saw that in theaters. Holy shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. You watched that in theaters?
What time? When did that come out?
Probably like 08, 09.
Oh wait, you're right. Yeah, I was a little teen. Of course I went and saw that in theaters.
That movie's so boring.
Yeah, I know. It has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Accurate.
Anyways.
I tried watching that again last year.
No, you
It
did
was
not.
hard. I did. It was a very hard movie to watch because the original Prom Night's really good. And then this remake is awful.
Ugh. Anyways,
really
I didn't mean
bad.
to derail. I was just thinking about that. I completely forgot that movie existed.
Technically, you did not derail. I derailed by reminding you that prom night exists. Oh God. Sorry.
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
thought of prom night, and then I thought of When a Stranger Calls because they kind of like meshed together in
Interesting.
like crappy horror. Maxine gets stuck under a bed while two old people are going at
Oh
it.
my god, that was horrible. I don't even want to talk about
That was
it.
the worst scene.
It was
And
so
we move on. And then we move into Maxine helping get Jenna Ortega's character out.
And Jenna Ortega's like, I fucking hate you. Get away from me. And Maxine's
You
like, we gotta
ruined
stay
my
together.
life. I'm not innocent anymore because of you, because you made me have sex.
And then it was pretty shocking when Jenna's character dies. She just runs out and kaboom.
Boom.
Just like
And then you see her face, and her face got blown off.
it was just like Texas though. I think that happened exactly the same way almost. In the original. They come out of the door, the front door, and kaboom. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it's the front door. I think it's maybe I know what scene you're talking
Yeah.
about. But I think it's one of them's in the house and one of them's at the front door, and the one that's in the house gets bonked with the
Yes,
hammer
thank
like
you.
right away.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's interestingly, it's the inverse.
Yes.
The person who's inside the house is the safe one. The person who's outside the house is the one that gets
Yeah.
the shotgun. And what happens next is fantastic because they're like, oh, get her in the house because, of Texas laws. If they're in the house, you can shoot them. And, the the body's just like screams a little bit and he has a heart
It scares
attack.
it
Howard just
scares
has a
him
heart
to death,
attack.
literally.
And Pearl's like, we had each other again and then we lost. And then Pearl's like, help him. Max is like, where's the keys?
I don't give
I'm
a
getting the
shit.
fuck out of this place. And Pearl's like, in the room, in the kitchen, near the lamp. They're underneath the lamp. Just get the keys are there.
The foreshadowing with the pistol being empty, you missed it. The foreshadowing the pistol was empty was when Wayne first walked up to the house and Howard pointed the gun at him. Howard was like, oh, it's empty. It's just waving it around scares people. And Wayne says, oh, yeah, I have one of those in my glove box. Ha, ha, ha. So, but obviously, Howard was lying.
And then Pearl's like, I'm going to use the shotgun. And for the first time in movie and haunt history, we have an accurate shotgun.
Yes.
Because she goes probably over accurate.
I would say she flew 20 feet.
Absurdist.
She flew 20
It
feet.
was absurdist. She broke a hip, though.
She did it.
Which was accurate.
She did.
And then, Pearl's like, I was once pretty. I want to be pretty. I'm a star.
You'll
And
always be a
then-
whore. And Maxine's like, bet. And she runs her head over. Twice.
And then she uses her line against her of, it'll be our little secret.
Yeah.
And we drive away. Oh, divine intervention. There's a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got the final twist that the pastor has been on the church channel the entire time. That's her dad.
Mhm.
And
Maxine is off.
to do some coke while driving.
Hell yeah. And that's the movie.
That is that entire movie. It is. I will say, I think this is one of the only movies we did not watch while watching. We were like, oh, I don't like this. Let's move over to this screen.
I'm going to
and
look at the
we'll come
trivia.
back. This movie really didn't make a lot of money, though.
I'm not surprised. I'm going to be honest. I feel like there wasn't a lot of advertisement from it.
I'm only surprised because it's A24, and I feel like so many. Well, okay, this is 2022. Was A24 what it is like currently?
No.
Okay. Because now I feel like if someone sees the letters and the numbers and all that shit, people are like, I have to see it because I love movies, so therefore I love A24.
It definitely always had some sort of following, I believe, but literally in the past year with what they've been doing, not just film, I think has really, put them above what they used to be, at least in production wise.
What did they? Oh, okay. I don't think A24. So they were close. A24 came out. Sorry, Pearl came out the same year
Yes.
as the movie that I would say probably put A24 into mainstream, which was Everything and Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the same year. It was just later in the year was when Everything.
And X came out right before Pearl. So all three movies came out in the same year.
However, they all I think both of them unfortunately came out before Everything Everywhere.
They did.
Yeah. Because Everything Everywhere is the movie that I think really brought them into that. And then this past year, they had Talk to Me.
Yeah. I mean, they had...
Which is another major.
Yeah, they had The Lighthouse. They had Midsommar, which got a lot of
Hereditary.
attention. So they've always had movies here and there, but I think to become more mainstream, Everything Everywhere All at Once really did it.
Oh, wow. 2022 was really good for them because they also had The Whale in 2022.
Okay.
Which is like... The fact that means that A24 literally ruled the Oscars in like every award season for that year. Because Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Whale were like the two movies that were trading back and forth. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Also, they also made the Vivitch.
Okay.
The Witch, but you remember the logo, the W separated, so I just called it the Vivitch.
Thanks.
They did Uncut Gems, which is everyone goes like it's Adam Sandler's only good movie.
Sure.
Hereditary.
Yeah, like I said,
we know that one.
We we know that they've had a lot of film that
Priscilla.
Yeah, so they've always been on the map.
They have.
But
now I feel like if an A24 movie comes out, everyone's like, I have to go see it because I love movies. It's either that or a Dune movie.
Yeah, that's basically it now.
It's like these movies, transcend cinema and become cinema.
But so we'll do the roundup now. Do you want me to go first? You want to go first?
I've already said mine. I'm more interested in yours, so go right ahead.
It was fine. As someone who does like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this was definitely a different and interesting take. Will I ever watch this again? No, I won't. Some of the performances were really good, and the visuals were good. Deaths were good. Some of the music cues were really interesting. A lot of the piano work was interesting. But overall, it was very blah to me, very boring. I think that also has to do with I'm not usually a big A24 fan. With some of their movies I do like. 5.5.
Ouch. Oh, spicy today.
Not bad. About average. So I think that's what I'll go with.
Just to make sure, we gave like Exorcist Believer like 0s and 1s,
I think
right?
so.
Okay, good. So. Just to make sure that remains accurate.
I believe so, yes.
Because if not, we would have to retroactively just make those 0s and 1s.
Of course.
Okay. Here's my one thing with this movie. None of the actors are the reason why I don't like this movie.
100%.
It is none of the actors. They all did well. There was not one person in that movie who I did not think did a good job. Which is impressive, because usually there's that one weak link.
Agreed.
And maybe you can say RJ. But even then, I'm not like...
I think that was just his character.
I would like if this was another horror movie, I would probably say he was probably one of the stronger characters in that horror movie.
Right.
So when you're weak here, that usually just means you're the weakest of a strong bunch. Brittany Snow, iconic. You're joining the deity of Paris Hilton and Gail Weathers.
Love it.
There's I think we're officially at the Trinity
Yes.
of icons.
I would love to see Brittany Snow in more horror movies, just for fun. Just let her have a good time.
I would be opposed to that.
Yeah.
Maya Goth, great. Jenna Ortega, for what she had, she was great. She really was not that big of a role in this movie. Kid Cudi was so good, I didn't realize it was Kid Cudi.
Yeah, I was so surprised. Good for him, though.
Because most of the time when you have like an artist in a movie, because Texas Chainsaw did that. What I think, it wasn't Jason Derulo. For some reason, my head will always go to like Jason Derulo when I think of like, oh, because he was in Cats.
Oh God, yeah, of course he was.
That's why, because he was in Cats. While I look this up though, because I know which movie it was, my issue with this movie was just it's A24.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Songz. That was the guy
Yeah.
in the
There you go.
Texas Chainsaw. It's an A24 movie, and I feel like, and here's the most controversial thing I'm probably ever gonna say. I feel like to really enjoy an A24 movie, you have to have your head up your own ass.
100%.
I feel like you have to think you're better than everyone else. I feel like you are the type of person that, like, when you go to a movie, you need to get popcorn because it's not a true movie experience without popcorn.
I do have to say, though, I really did really enjoy Everything Everywhere All at Once. Does that make me pretentious? It was really good movie.
A broken clock is right twice a day, is what I'll say. Since when did I become this character of the show?
Jesus Christ.
Usually I'm the nice one. Usually I'm the one that's like, there's positives, and you're the one that's like 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10. I'll give this a 4. Which is awful because I'm giving it a higher score than you.
Yeah,
I'm giving
I
it
know.
a 7. But at the same time, the best I can say is I'm giving this a 7 and I'm being nice. Like,
I still don't understand why you're giving it a 7, but that's fine.
I'm being nice.
Okay.
Because the choices they've made creatively with how they were intercutting between the porno and the scene. My favorite scene of that movie was probably where they were intercutting between the porno and then Pearl and Maxine interacting, and they were like seamlessly making sense going into each other. I loved that, and there was a lot of creative choices I was okay with. It was just old people. Old people.
So what I'm hearing is that you don't like old people. Do they creep you out like clowns creep me out?
No, because we've had a lot of movies where we have had old people. That doesn't mean I want to see them getting it on.
Yeah, true.
And like unironically in a serious manner.
Right.
The reason why I was cool with the Britney Snow stuff was because it was genuine. And like she goes into it later in the movie where she's in bed and he's like, "Oh, you can't fake that." And she's like, yeah.
She's an actor.
Fuck this pussy."
She's an actor.
And I'm like, I like it because she is showing how ridiculous she was acting.
Oh yeah, but
for that entire scene.
And it also goes to show how much power she had, because every single woman knows, this is the card that you can play. And because it was so funny, because Kid Cudi was like flexing and feeling himself after it, and she's like, "You're ridiculous."
Watch as I have a fun time right now.
Exactly.
On command. So, like, there's stuff there I like, and I feel like the camera work was good.
I agree. Yeah.
The lighting was good. Like, objectively, the presentation was good. The acting was good. It's an A24 movie, so it gets brought down for me because A24
It's boring.
is that friend that tries too hard.
It was just fucking boring. I think the reason I gave it such a high score of a 5 or a 5.5 was because of those things that you pointed out that were good, but other than that, it was just a boring fucking movie.
Yeah, like we all have the friend who tries too hard. Like they want to be funny. They want to be taken seriously. They want to be the life of the party. But dear God, every time you see them come into the room, you're like, oh God. Or every time like they talk, your eyes roll because you're like, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's what an A24 movie is to me. It's like, I see it. I see that logo and I'm like,
fuck.
The only thing A24 has ever done, in my opinion, that was good was let Paramore do Burning Down the House.
Fair. Which was great.
It's a great bit. That's the only thing. And you know who's about to make an A24 movie? The Rock. Everyone says A24 can't make a bad movie. And I'm like, have you had a Rock in your A24 movie? The guy who... Listen, you hire actors. You do understand in order to be an actor, you have to have more than one dimension, right?
Oh,
and you just hired the king of one-dimensional acting.
Oh, boy. Well...
He's doing like an MMA movie.
Of course he is.
With A24.
Well, that was this movie. I hope maybe you guys liked it. Maybe we're just haters over here. I don't know. But we will.
Please don't comment. Please don't leave a comment.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean,
on reality, I'll say this. Don't leave a comment because all it's going to be is A24 people being like, you just don't understand you just can't taste our vibe the way you probably love Marvel and like Friday the 13th and like, no.
That's a hard no.
Especially, have you heard us talk about Friday the 13th part 4? I almost jumped out of a window.
But thanks for joining us.
But I'm a fan of having fun.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun. And Brittany Snow, you were fun.
She was
I
great.
loved you. Everybody else, while you were good, you were not fun.
But thank you for joining us. If you did end up listening to this, we are Movie in a Haunt on both Spotify and YouTube. And please join us next time. We will be watching Pearl. So I hope to God maybe it's better. If not, it will be more of the same. So, everyone.
Can we, once this is over, we may officially never do an A24 movie.
Probably. We will be banned from doing it. But again, everyone, thank you for joining us. And have a good one. Bye.
Bye.